Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I am so happy to have you here. We're going to dive into your reading. I actually just had cards already on my deck from some private readings that I did, and I just felt like leaving them and just playing and sort of freestyling today. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to dive straight into that reading. It's kind of a gray and windy morning here. It's supposed to rain. So I don't know, it just feels cozy in my office this morning. All right, here we go. For Pisces, please, Spirit, what do you need? What messages does Pisces need to hear right now? For Pisces. For Pisces, wow. Okay, you guys, we keep getting this energy. New love, you know, we keep getting this energy that there's a big relationship, big love coming in. You know, this, you know, when love is really true and really good and it is always renewing itself. It's like almost automatically renewing itself. I don't even know how to kind of say what the energy is that I'm feeling, but you're constantly moving into new phases, and I don't want to say constantly, but in the epochs of time, right? Like you arrive in these new spaces in your relationship, and it's really quite beautiful, you know. So I don't know. I can't say for sure. I mean, it does feel very much like there are a lot of you who have a brand new person coming into your life. But for others of you, it feels like, you know, a new space within a relationship. You have codependency on the bottom of the deck, and this is giving me this vibe of a lot of times we call things love that aren't love. And, you know, like I have said in recent readings where there's one card in a deck, and I have the deck out, but I don't know which deck it is, but it says toxic love on it. And there is no toxic love. There's no such thing. Love inherently is not toxic. And so it's kind of this idea, right, where it's like, oh, like I love this person so hard that, or we're so passionate, or it's so extreme in this way or in that way, but you know, it's love. And it's like, well, sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what even is our definition of love? And sometimes we have to shed, you know, an old interpretation in order to fully welcome a new one. And there's, you know, especially if what we have only experienced is something that might be the closest thing we've experienced to love, but might not still be love. You know, I don't think that I fully understood love until I met my husband. You know, like, and his family, you know, it's not just him, his family is very loving. And I, you know, there's, when you see it, when you feel it, when you experience it, it suddenly makes sense why things didn't work with other people, or even where the toxicity lied, or how that experience was a teacher but could not ever be fully realized into a mature love situation. And it's giving me this energy of like shedding that previous definition, or even shedding the idea that we even know what love is until we experience it. And you can experience true love, you with you, self-love, right? Where you love yourself unconditionally and accept yourself wholly. that is oftentimes the most difficult love to master, you know, to not be critical of yourself, to not blame yourself, to forgive yourself, to nurture yourself, to be completely loving of yourself, and when we do that, that is when we truly experience our limitless nature, because there's nothing holding us back. We've freed ourselves of all the shackles and burdens of this stuff, this non-love, this toxicity. We've cleared our garden. It is like that. It is like freeing a space of all of its weeds so that you can choose very carefully what you plant and grow, and you can nurture it and you can love it into being. And it is also about accepting the dirt itself, you know, whatever it is, and embracing what it is and what it is consists of and what it is made of, you know, what that foundation is, and understanding, you know, that energy of, you know, you need this in order to propel yourself forward. Maybe you wish it had a little bit more acid in it, or a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like pH can sometimes make a difference. Like if you love hydrangeas, they'll either bloom pink or blue depending on the acidity of your soil. You know, like maybe you wish it was composed of different things, but it's not necessary. You can grow with what you have. Something will grow there, and it is a lot about how you then nurture that into being and what you decide to put into it, and making those choices and decisions for yourself. And again, like I'm getting a very like overarching sense of like peace here, where it's like creating an environment of peace. And like once you create the environment of peace, it's like everything sort of comes to it. Everything sort of comes from it and comes to it. And so I don't know, like this is very complex and abstract, but I think you know what I'm saying. But it's like you have been this person for yourself here, and what, you know, clear your garden until it looks like, until the only things that remain are things that you truly love, period. It's like Marie Kondo yourself, you know. Does it spark joy? If not, let's let it go. All right, let's see what Moonology has to offer us today. Oh my gosh, you guys, seriously? A new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. That is like the end of April, beginning of May. No, it's the end of March, beginning of April. Sorry. You also have the full moon in Virgo, which is during Pisces season. So what is that? The end of February, beginning of March. So highlight heavy emphasis here on the springtime, which I've gotten that repeatedly in your cards. Look at this energy. You are good enough. You are worthy. You are worthy of the highest and the utmost. You are inherently. It's not something earned. It's not something that you have to pass some kind of test. It's not some, you know, once you're perfect, then you're good enough. No, it is not a race. We're not crossing a finish line. It is the journey. It is the meandering. You are inherently good enough. You were born good enough. You didn't have to do anything to become good enough. You don't have to do anything to become good enough or worthy of love. So there is this energy of, you know, you're seeing part of it, but you'll never see all of it, you know, with this, like half moon. I can't even think of a word of that. But the thing is, this is just telling you that sometimes you don't see all of it. You see part of it. And some of it, sometimes you are the part of it that you see. You know, it is your vision. It is your fantasy. It is your manifestation. It is your own hope for yourself, that's guiding you forward, that's propelling you toward this new time period, and this new cycle, this new phase that is birthing clearly in your life. And so it is just saying, you know, it has not all been revealed to you yet. And even if you have already found this person and you're just discovering some new phase within your love story, right? You still, you haven't seen all that it has to offer. It hasn't all been revealed to you. So there's a lot of really beautiful energy here and a lot of calm energy here. Wow, and yesterday I did paint a pond with water lilies on it using only these 3 colors. And that's just very weird when these things happen. I feel like they are synchronicities. So, wow, it was, yeah, just like a pond with like water lilies and lotuses on it that using only these colors, and obviously white and black, which are also here. Okay, anyway, this is interesting energy. I'm getting this Alex Warren song called First Time on Earth, where he's like telling his mother that he understands, like, you know, that it was her first time on Earth too, that like she didn't know what she was doing, which is true. And we can approach all people and all things from the perspective of you are doing the best you can from where you're at. We can also say that the best you can from where you're at is harmful to me without this degree of boundary or without this degree of space. And we're fine to do that as well. We can understand from a distance. Because I am getting like the need to walk away from something, even though it's like, I understand. Wow. Also, man, something just hit me like a ton of bricks, and I really hope I took a picture of it. Yes, I did. Oh my God. There is an understanding within yourself happening here. Okay. I saw this on Instagram yesterday. It was like many slides. If this interests you, it's Tao Meditations, TAO Meditations, all one word, on Instagram. But the one slide that I photographed is your resentment is not a product of someone's actions, but a product of your own expectations. When something sort of falls apart, or something doesn't work out the way that we hoped, we can sometimes carry this energy of like, it's giving me the word schism, and I'm not sure about that word right in this exact moment. I'm sure I know what it means, but I can't think of it right now. But it's giving me schism. It's giving me that word very specifically. The thing is, we have to process it. It's like, but I saw this potential, but I had this dream, but I could see it working out like this. I could see it being perfect. I could see, you know, all of these possibilities. I could see all of this. And then the reality is it didn't work out that way, or we never fully got to realize that. So a lot of what we grieve when something ends is what we think it could have been. Yet, something important to keep in mind is that we have no idea if that ever would have materialized, even if it hadn't ended. And like, this is really giving me like this painting energy today. I have been painting a lot and I've been sort of consumed with painting, so that could be why this comes through in my readings, but it could also be relevant for some of you. The energy it's giving me is like, you know, when you go into a painting with a really specific outcome in mind, like you're like, I want it to look like this. You don't go into it with like exploration and play. A lot of being an artist is learning how to reduce yourself to like a child and being able to sort of play, or being able, it is having the skill to bring your vision to life. And it is like working with your materials so much that you intuitively know how it will kind of turn out, but also being willing to be surprised by the outcome. Like the surprise happens far more often than the vision that you had. And like when we get to this place where we're holding on and we're trying to force something to work, you can see it in the painting. Like sometimes you'll say, oh my gosh, I'm getting so frustrated, and you'll walk away from it, and then you'll come back to it, and you can see your own you can see where you almost kind of led yourself astray, where you like overworked it, it's called oftentimes, and you sort of took the fun out of it, you took the life out of it. That is how this is giving this to me, which is like a bit differently than I normally would like see this. Which this is so interesting, the way all of the aspects of your life really are connected. A lot of times we feel like we can block something in one area of our life and it won't affect the other areas of our life. It absolutely affects the other. There's no way to separate like what, you know, like one thing from another, you know, especially when you're like being open, super open to like whatever's coming. It's like it's all very connected, which just shows you every aspect of your life: what you eat, what you watch, what you consume, the relationships you have, the people you have around you, your job, your, you know, like degree of stress with your bills, with this, with that, how all of those things affect every process. They, you know, they drain, they zap, they take away. You know, sometimes we will look at something and say, okay, this isn't maybe exactly healthy, or this isn't maybe exactly completely fueling my soul, or it isn't like contributing to the peace in my life, but I can handle it. You're handling it by losing across the board. You're handling it by making sacrifices in every other area of your life. That's why it is so much better to be single and thriving than in a relationship that is stealing your energy and your peace, right? For some reason, this is really coming up in this reading, this energy of like not allowing anything draining, to like coveting your sacred space and protecting it, and not letting things that drain or don't allow you to be the full expression of yourself. Like, you're here to explore your destiny. I mean, you and I may see life differently, right? Our fundamental core beliefs about why we're here and all of that could be very different, right? But there is something, I mean, at the core of the core of the core, right? Where like you are uniquely made, and like it's coming back to this whole you are worthy thing. And just the limitlessness of like loving yourself, even that comes from loving yourself, that relationship, that first love, that first connection with yourself. I don't know, you guys. Wow, this is just getting really deep. It's going way out there, but there is something here where, you know, this is all leading you to a space, to a love, a true love that is reciprocal. Someone who can actually fully see you and accept you exactly as you are. And not even, it's, yes, I can accept you as you are, but it is like, I also love all the parts of you. I was talking to a friend and she was telling me a story about this person who she's definitely like head over heels for. And it, like, in the story, the person was kind of dorky, you know, like, I don't know how else to say it, but like, in a really sort of endearing way, I guess. Like, even I sort of took it that way, but of course I was hearing it through her lens. And I said, oh my gosh, that is so dorky. Like, I don't usually say things like that, or I try not to say things like that, but it was just funny. And she said, I know, and I love that about him. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like, yes, okay, that's awesome. You know, it's like, yes, I observe that, but not in a judgmental way, in a loving way. And that is so beautiful, you know. So it goes beyond acceptance, you know. It's like, you know, all those times that you have felt that for other people, but they haven't been able to return that, or they haven't been able to feel that back for you, or they haven't been brave enough to dive into that exploration. It's like, I don't know. It's giving me, it's not because you weren't worthy. Like, we know that, right? Logically, we know that. But sometimes there is someone that comes along and loves us exactly as we are, that proves it to us. You know, that, you know, it's not that I'm encouraging anyone to seek external validation of their worthiness. Like, I've already told you, and you already inherently know that you are worthy. Like, you are a living, breathing miracle. You are an expression of the divine itself. Like, you are worthy. But when someone is able to love you completely with your freak flag and all, that type of validation is, well, it is something that, you know, it's like, it's giving me that energy of, I like you more. No, I like you more. No, I like you more. That kind of annoying energy of like, you know, oh no, you know, it's you. No, it's you. It's you. No, it's you. You know what I mean? That is like showing up here. I can't even, with this reciprocity card, I just can't even put my finger on what I'm trying to say here, but hopefully you understand. It is like someone who is enamored with you and all of your quirkiness as you are with them and all of their quirkiness. And it's almost as if I just want to sink into that uniqueness, that juiciness of who are you? You know, how did you get to be this amazing person? There's a whole exploration here. There's a whole, and it doesn't need any expectation. It doesn't need any, this is what I hope the finished painting looks like. It's like, I can't wait to see what we create. Do you know what I'm saying? And it is about the creative process. It isn't about like, what's it going to look like in the end? You know, it's like a totally different, it's like living life forward instead of like jumping around. It's like, it is like harnessing the moment and what's available in that moment. Okay. I don't know that I'm going to use all these cards. I'm just sort of going where I'm guided and freestyling and figuring it out, and, you know, we'll see. I have no expectation. Okay, you guys have unexpected money coming. Here, this card. I've definitely picked up on this feeling in a couple of like private readings with Pisces lately, and I can always tell when it's coming up in private readings that, yeah, you need to make a tough choice to move forward. I think this is about shedding an old skin. You may not see the progress now, but trust that it's happening regardless. That's this half moon energy. your intuition is correct about this situation. Some of you may intuitively feel that you have found your person, or that your person is coming. Oftentimes we feel it before, because we can, especially if you're really sensitive to energy, you know, we feel it in the energy before we, you know, realize it in the material world, right? All right, so I am just pulling some from what's blocking you. Wow, if this does not sound like a Pisces, I do not know what does, okay? You know, you're tolerating abuse. This is what may still be a barrier standing in your way that you can lean into. This is about, you know, loving yourself here. And you have unavailable at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so, you know, a lot of times, especially empaths will tolerate abuse, and they will tolerate abuse for like extended periods of time. And this is very draining. And it also can create a lot of insecurities within you. And a lot of times we don't even realize, right, that this is happening. But when someone treats us a certain way, or talks to us a certain way, or, you know, sort of puts ideas in our head about who we are, which intimate partners do, and we have a tendency to really listen to what they say, because they've obviously gotten past our defenses. We've obviously let them into an intimate space, and we have to be careful, because if we let someone toxic into that space, they're going to spew toxicity in our most intimate sacred spaces, right? And it takes a long time to cleanse that and purify that and free ourselves from that, because it's insidious. We don't even know how far it's gone. We don't even know what it is or what it sounds like anymore. You know, maybe when they first arrived, we could hear it, we could know it, we could sort of protect ourselves from it. But in the course of time, oftentimes it wears us down and we stop recognizing it. And a lot of times we will go from toxic relationship to toxic relationship, or abusive person to abusive person, or we'll be taking abuse in one area of our life, and it will kind of open us up to taking abuse in other areas of our life. Like it becomes almost like a karmic theme in our life for a period of time. That's why it's important, once you spot abuse, to eradicate it from your life, right? To like cut it off and get rid of it. Like there is no ever any reason to tolerate abuse. Someone who's willing to abuse you isn't going to change. You also cannot heal from that abuse in the space in which you were abused. So you, like, the only thing, you have to get like a fresh slate, right? This is what it's giving me, and I feel this to be truth from my own experience, but I am in no way trying to advise anyone of anything. Oh, hi, Bhakti. And giving too much, you know, when we give too much, we really do open ourselves up to kind of like tolerating abuse, because we show someone we are willing to accept less than we deserve, and we are willing to give more than our fair share in order to have someone in our life, which opens their whole, you know, they may not even like consciously think this, but it opens them up to understanding that they don't have to be fully reciprocative. Is that even a word? They don't have to, that we are willing to accept less, so they don't have to show up for us, right? And if you're not going to make someone meet you in the middle, right, and be reciprocal, what incentive do they have to do that? Just out of the goodness of their heart, just out of the like spiritual maturity that they somehow possess? No, if you're in a situation where you feel you have to give too much in order for them to be there, first of all, it probably is an indication that you have an unhealed wound, but that which you can lean into and heal, and so you don't have a tendency to do that anymore. You can heal anything, you guys. But for another thing, you're probably choosing someone who is unavailable, which is what you're getting on the bottom of the deck. I mean, it's kind of incredible the way these cards came out. You know, someone that you have to kind of, you know, sort of pursue or stay focused on in order to feel like you're going to be able to like kind of keep them there. And this is just a cycle that either you're breaking free of, or it's one that it's like trying to call your attention to this, or this may be something that you relate to from something in your past, right? Also, this is a general reading. Okay, let's dive into the tarot. Let's see what it says, you guys. Wow, just a flat out explosion happening here. We have the Hermit with the Two of Wands. We have the Seven of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles. Damn, and we have the World card with the Hierophant. Oh, this is really great energy. You know, for some of you, you may be ending a cycle where you have been largely by yourself, or really taking care of things on your own. Even if you have other people, it's like you may not have had an intimate partner for some time, and you may be feeling a call or something to come out of this energy with the Two of Wands here. It's like, you know, starting to really look toward your future and ask yourself, what do you want it to look like? Or there may be things in your environment that are sort of signaling to you that it is time to sort of go for that star in the Hermit's lamp, like what you want. Like maybe now feels like a favorable time, or maybe you're just like, at some point in this reading I said you may feel intuitively guided that your soulmate is close, or that there is this connection kind of coming. Like sometimes we feel things energetically before they actually materialize. So this can be, with the Two of Wands and the Hermit, sort of this call to sort of reevaluate and ask yourself, how's it working out for me being this hermit? Or am I still supposed to stay? I mean, being a hermit can be a really wonderful thing. It can be a time of great healing, a time of great processing, a time of, you know, Carl Jung would call it individuating, you know, looking at, you know, the influence of our family, looking at the influence of society, and, you know, our culture, or, you know, just everything external to us that it's had on us. And this can be a time of like kind of digging out and finding out who we are underneath all that, you know, without all that programming and without all of those expectations, and sort of rediscovering ourselves. A lot of times that's what we do in hermit mode, right? And so that is a very powerful, potent time for us. But it's like with the crossroads here with the Two of Wands, it's kind of like, okay, maybe this period has served its purpose. Maybe I am now ready to kind of reemerge into a space, and kind of try my hand at it now. You know what I mean? Like, see where it goes for me now. You have this Seven of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles. You know, this energy is really protecting yourself as you master yourself, you know, and this can be the exploration of learning how to hold boundaries for yourself, how to protect your energy so that you can use it for its highest purpose, for whatever you are put here or meant here to do, to explore for yourself with your life, right? But there is definitely a major cycle coming to an end. And there is, you know, for some of you, this can be a spiritual awakening. For some of you, this can be a soul contract. For others of you, it's like, you may be serving your community in some way. You may be, taking on some kind of spiritual study, or making some kind of commitment to yourself spiritually here, where it's like, I will not accept less than I deserve. I am worthy. You know, I will always treat myself this way. It can even be a commitment that you make to yourself about who you allow in your life, and how you allow yourself, like how you, like what you're willing to endure and to take and how you view things, right? I hope that makes sense. So there is a powerful period changing. So where are we headed, Spirit? What is all this leading to? What is this new love situation? What can you tell us? Okay. Oh, wow. Damn. You know, you're doing it big, Pisces. You are doing it big. You got the 5 of Swords in reverse with the Chariot upright with the 2 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So, you know, this really is a great illustration of, you know, oftentimes what is holding us back from, you know, launching into, well, it's holding us, like, okay, I'll say it very, very simply, and then I'll tell you what I get also. But it's holding us back from this time of great achievement, momentum, movement, and success, right? Moving towards our kind of soul purpose, or moving toward success and abundance, okay? Oftentimes what it is our own way of thinking can be a bit self-defeating. Hey, the thing about having, honey, you do not even know what you're, honey bucket, come here. You don't know what you're even barking about. You don't. There's nothing out there. I know. I can tell you can't see anything to bark about. I know, because I know you. I know you. Oh, Bhakti, stops. Come here, you maniac. The thing is, the like big glaring thing here is that the Chariot is a very balanced energy. It's like the balance of body, mind, and spirit. It's the balance of, you see how he doesn't have any reins on these sphinxes. He doesn't need them because they're all so in alignment that, oh God, I just heard something the other day. It was like, when your decisions no longer feel like dilemmas, they feel like alignment. When your decisions no longer feel like dilemmas, they feel like alignment. That is when you know that you're moving into a new phase, like this, the energy of the Chariot. Because here it's like everything is imbalanced, and it's like I look at it and I look at it and I look at it, but maybe it doesn't feel like there's a really good answer. That can be sometimes why we stay in hermit mode, because there's no decision. It's kind of comfortable. It's kind of safe. It's just like, it's me with my musings. It's me with my thoughts. It's me with my, you know, focused on what I want to have happen. But, you know, I'm not actually out there like implementing it, kind of making it really happen. I'm sort of staying in a bit of a comfort zone there. With these energies, there is movement and momentum. And sometimes when we're breaking free of that hermit mode, right, and we're kind of launching ourselves into this period of great, you know, change, it's giving me like the world history, like the Renaissance. It's giving me like the printing press. It's giving me like the telephone. It's giving me like the internet. It's like, this is the type of degree of change that's about to happen in your life, Pisces. Like, okay, I'm just giving it to you the way I'm getting it. That's what this Chariot represents. And the thing that keeps us from fully launching into that energy, the thing that sort of like pulls us back away from it at times, is when we get out of balance, when fear, when this old way of thinking, this old thought, it is old now because it's no longer even a part of the cycle that we're in, you know, creeps up there and gives us this where it says to us, okay, stop and think for a minute, or let's contemplate this, or you know, what if this, or what if that, you know. that's when your decision starts to feel like a dilemma. When you start looking at it that way. I don't know how to really say what I'm trying to say, but I hope that you're getting what I'm throwing down here, because it is like potent. Wow. So we are closing out it's almost like a cycle where we have thought ourselves to death, where we have, it's like, yeah, it's like giving me, I thought it to death. It's giving me looking at a painting again and kind of being it, like in art, sometimes we call it, it's too precious. We're treating it too precious. Like, we don't want to mess it up, so we don't take a risk. And a lot of times the risk is the thing that needs to happen. And yes, you may mess your painting up. You might. But you might also create something genius or learn something that serves you infinitely throughout the course of many paintings. You know, but when something becomes too precious, it sort of gets us into this gridlock where we're like afraid to make any move. We're afraid to take a chance. And a lot of art is staying loose and just being open and allowing things to sort of unfold, and sort of treating it like an experiment or an exploration. And it's like when in life we start to feel like, oh, you know, I can't explore. Oftentimes it's because we're afraid of suffering, or we're afraid of failing, or we're afraid of something kind of bad happening. And so we sort of get ourselves into like gridlock, or a little bit of stagnancy. This is like, Spirit is saying it's done, it's over, we don't do that anymore, we're not there. Okay. This is about, you know, once you have discovered your worth and your power and your own ability to be the source of abundance in your life, it's giving it to me like that. Your own ability to be the source of abundance in your life. It's giving it to me like that, okay? Then there's a sense of collaboration. There is a sense of working together. There's a sense of community. It does come from taking somewhat of the expectation out of the situation, not getting wrapped up in needing to kind of like know the final outcome, or needing the final outcome to look a certain way, or even being concerned about a final outcome, or even looking at life in terms of final outcomes. It just keeps giving me, it's the journey, it's the journey, it's the journey. Whatever way the journey goes, that will teach you what you are meant to learn from the experience. And sometimes it's just about letting go and letting the journey happen, you know, getting out there. I think Matisse, the artist Matisse, may have said, like, it's not like you emerge onto a painting with a plan. It's like you start painting and the plan reveals itself, or like the painting reveals itself. That's what this is. It's like you are being called with that Two of Wands to step out of a hermit phase, or to step out of a phase where you're just sort of focused on what you want, or like what you're wishing for, like what you hope happens, or on a singular point of light, really is what it's giving me, whatever that is for you. And you're emerging out of that, like there's a huge sense of like, I am worthy here. And again, I am capable of being the source of abundance in my own life energy. Okay. I've never said that before. I don't think I've ever heard that, but like it's coming hot and heavy here. And once you really truly step into this energy, like-minded, you're attracting like-minded, you know, people toward you that are capable of sharing that vision and that plan, and like really bringing it into fruition. And these are like true collaborators. These are not energy vampires. These are not, this isn't something where you're going to have to like, where it's going to be super draining and where your decisions are going to feel like dilemmas. It's a space where it feels like greater and greater alignment. That's how it feels. That's how you know that you've stumbled onto that path. Okay, I think that's where Spirit really wants me to leave it. It's really giving it to me that way very strongly. So I feel like I'm going to let that go right there. It's maybe for you to ponder. I'm not sure, but let me get you guys some message cards. All right. If you are dealing with a water sign, I'm just going to do a couple because this just really doesn't feel like a reading where we need these messages. All right. I won't let you go, and it's hard for me to explain things. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you're getting annoyed and resentment. Okay. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you are getting, oh gosh, my nerves get the best of me sometimes, and guarded. And if you are dealing with an air sign, like moi, you are getting, I just want to go back in time and I don't want to miss my chance with you. Wow. All right. This is what I have for you guys today. I really hope this little freestyle ditty helped you out. Brought you some peace and some clarity. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been really fun and really real, and I appreciate this exploration with all of you. Until next time, you guys, I wish you all the very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.